All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be doing a tier list for July. I know that most likely SRs are going to be coming next week, but honestly, it's been a little bit. We have a few units to actually like rank for PvP. Okay, also these guys are in cringe. I remember what this is. Okay, I remember why it's so different. Because this was on stream that I did this, and that's why they're all like really moved around weird and whatnot versus my last video. Okay, now this makes so much more sense because like where's like Bon in them? So Bon, I think he's still an SS tier unit. Rimuru, gonna just like I'm gonna cut and I'm gonna actually let's just do this real quick. It's like whatever. Terry, probably an S tier unit. I don't think he's an SS tier. Summer Merlin, probably an S tier unit because it does rely on quite a bit of RNG. Frowdren, you're cringe, and you're just kind of useless. Now this is PvP only, so you know PvE units like Jormungandr and Magelda are obviously S tier units, but this is only PvP and you don't really want to use them. The new Diane isn't out, but obviously she's a mainly only PvE unit. She does do good damage, I won't lie, but you need like the Arthur team, so at the very least I would put her like a B tier. I don't have an icon for her though, so yeah, there's that. We're gonna be picking up this top row before, because I don't think Gother is SS because you have to like literally get his ultimate, and every time I use him, I find it very situational. So I think I'm going to bump him down to S tier. Also, I'm gonna do this. Tarmeo is the best fest in the game. I can't lie. He's literally used in everything unless it's something where like they cuck demons, like certain final boss and stuff. And I bet you he could even do fine then. Chad King, I still think he's very usable. Still an A tier unit. I think Tarmeo, I don't think he's SS tier. You could probably put him in SS tier, but he's very top of S tier in my opinion. He is really good on the field. He is actually really good on the field. I've been using him a bit more. I've been watching some more videos. I've watched Shoguns. I've watched this one guy, YouTuber Vader Senpai. They showcased them very well. He's very powerful. So yeah, I'm going to bump down Green Gother. I don't think he's a good unit in the meta anymore. I think Red Gother is actually better because attack seal, and there's like literally one cleanse unit in the meta besides like King Ultimate obviously, and then immunity with the one, and then Terry's stance card. That's like realistically the only meta units that have a sort of cleanse besides Margaret, and Margaret is kind of a problem, I'm not gonna lie. Amelia, I'm going to bump down to A tier as well. Mono, I haven't given enough testing, but I have seen her do incredibly well. If you actually invest in her, I think she's probably an S tier unit. I don't think she's SS. I'm sorry for all the people who love Mono, also known as that one YouTuber named Volume Control. But I don't think she's SS tier. I faced many Monos. Okay, not many, but quite a few. And every single time I face them, they just don't do any damage to red units from what I've experienced. So there's that. I really want to slap Margaret in SS tier. Even with Rimuru, you just ult rush, and it's so broken. It's incredibly broken because you run Diane, Margaret, some other shitter like Trader Melly, and if you run Merlin and then Ultimate Gauge Food, and if they don't kill you, you stance up, you move a card, you cleanse, or if you face a Rimuru, you just move a card or attack and lifesteal. And you get it, but I don't think she's SS tier because obviously there's a bit of RNG. So at the very least, top of S tier. Like the Angel team is incredibly broken. If you want to invest in a team, I highly suggest the Angel team or the Bond team. Those are the two best free-to-play teams in my opinion. They're absolutely cracked. Now, Brawler Bond, I still think he's probably one of the best backline units, just not that many people have really pulled him. Sariel, a very good taunt unit. I think he deserves, or he, whatever, deserves S tier. Ludo, I hate this unit. I genuinely hate this unit. All the best units in the game, Trader Melly, Diane, Liz, Margaret, they all out CC him. I want to say Tarmeo does, but I don't think so, because you have to remember Ludo does have the Droll Link, so he gets more HP. It's very close, but Ludo is just not a very good unit. I don't really like him. I'll put him bottom of S tier, I guess, because if you do go first, just like the argument for King, if you go first, you're going to obliterate. You're going to do very, very well. Very, very strong unit. If you can go first and you have like a DPS unit like a Sigurd, you know, or like an extra or a debuff unit, or like a Brunhild or Mono, you probably are going to obliterate anything besides a Bond team turn 1, from what I have experienced. Zeldris is still an insanely good backline. I think Brawler Bond is better than Zeldris, but once Zeldris gets a relic and he gets more CC, I think Zeldris will become the new meta again. But you do have to rely on debuffs. So if you don't have if you don't run a debuff team, obviously the Brawler Bomb would be better. Lilia, you could probably bump her down 1, but I still do insanely well with her every single time I use her. She's an extraordinary unit, and she slaps. Like I don't see why I would bump down Lilia when I do very, very well with her. Elliehawk, I kind of want to bump down some of these units. Like Merlin, she's probably even higher, to be honest. Shuna, no. I think Elaine is better. This Ragnarok Merlin, I saw in top 100, and she does insanely well. Andy, I think I was watching his stream, and she does very, very well. So I'll keep her in A. I haven't tested her, but I saw a really good whale user, and he did fairly well with her. So I just keep her right there. Scotty, with her relic, is actually looks very, very good. She looks very, very cancerous. I think I'll put her up in A tier right next to like Malaska. Like, she can work. Ragnarok Diane, very good unit, I can't lie. If you run like an Ignite team or a full Ragnarok team like I do, she hits really, really hard. Milim, I don't know. She's so gimmicky. She's basically like Ragnarok Diane. I'm not gonna lie, she's kind of like Ragnarok Diane. If you go first, you run on the right team, she obliterates. Escanor, I guess, top of A tier, I can't lie. Like, out of any of these units, I would most likely run Escanor, besides Diane. I actually think Diane out DPS as Escanor, if you run a full, like, debuff team, and you can, like, remove buffs or debuffs, obviously. Elaine's a pretty fun unit, if you have, like, full relics and whatnot. I don't know, she's just not that great. Like, why would you run it over the new Light Liz, to be honest? Keo, I think, is probably like top of A tier. I don't think he needs to be ran anymore, besides on like the Lilia team, and even then you don't even need to run him. Tarmeo, I don't really see Tarmeo anymore. I think he's more of a support now, like a backline unit, because of his relic. I believe stance units take 40% less damage when assuming a stance, I believe is what it is. So he's kind of like Esterosa, how they used to run him. But yeah, it's alright. I haven't done too much testing with him though, ever since I got the red Tarmeo, unfortunately. Arthur is still really, really good. And then I don't really want to touch anything down here. They're not that big of a deal. Like, I think Assault Melee is still one of the worst. Droll. I don't know which Droll is better, but I think Droll with Relic can probably be up by A tier once I actually test it out, because this is just from what I've seen. My friend Addicting Air, he got the Droll Relic, and it works very, very well. He makes you super, super tanky. And once I get my hands on it and I actually test it out a bit more, I will do a video on it, and I'll let you know if it's an S tier unit. I don't think so, but I think he could definitely be an A tier unit, because his relic increases damage reduction up to 40%. I think it's 5% per buff, and you can get up to 8 buffs, I believe, on your entire team. It's for everybody. I thought it was only Droll, but it's for everyone. You get damage reduction for everyone, which is very, very good. So you can get it with Diane, you can get it with Scotty as well if you get a bunch of debuffs on her. I don't know, it just seems pretty cool. And with Green Droll, obviously you can ult gauge seal for 2 turns. So, and if you get a rank 2, a lucky rank 2, you just save it if you're facing a Margaret, and you have a chance at winning. So it seems like a fairly good unit. I don't know which Droll is better though, but I'm just going to put them up here, up in A tier, maybe even just like low A tier until I actually test them out, to be honest. But from what I've seen, they do fairly, fairly well. I'm still going to stand by this. I still think Glox is a very, very good unit. I would genuinely put him in A tier, but obviously everybody is a little baby and never actually test out Glox. I tested him out. I genuinely like it. I think he's an A tier unit right up by like Escanor and whatnot, because if you attack twice, you get attack lowered by 20% of attack related stats. Steals rank 2s. Obviously, Fast Gother's a better option, but that's why he's in a higher tier. But I will leave him be so I don't get absolutely annihilated on Twitter. Alright, I think that's basically about it. None of these units are like really that great. Like, you could probably drop them down, but honestly at that point it's like whatever, to be honest. Meliotis. He's shit. He is very bad. You will never see him if you don't know what he does. If you have 2 or more cards, you don't get the 30% basic stat increase. He's a backline unit. He has very terrible CC. They didn't buff him for whatever reason. Maybe when he gets his relic they'll buff him, but I don't get why they would do that. Why not buff him when he's released? Because then more people would have spent money on him or summoned for him. But yeah, I don't know. Next unit, Red Brunhild. She's a very, very fun, very, very good unit. I really like her AoE. Honestly though, I think I'm gonna bump up Sigurd. I think I will bump up Sigurd. I think he's a very good unit. I just realized that he was that low. I think Sigurd is a genuinely fun, very good unit. His X-Star doesn't do much damage, but it definitely does make a significant difference in battle, especially if you're running like a Ludo comp or you're running them with Brunhild or the mono. I prefer Brunhild, but I can see why if you have an absolutely like maxed out mono would be better, but I just prefer the weak point. The weak point card is very consistent, but that's just my experience. I don't play with mono that much, so that might be the difference. But I like the Brunhild. She's probably an A tier unit. Probably like right up with these units. This isn't in like any order. It's just like if I say that's up here, then I assume that's like the top of the tier, or the bottom of the tier, etc., etc. This isn't like an actual like ordering per unit. That'd be way too much. There's too many units in the game for that. And then Freyr, he doesn't really work in PvP, but I've definitely seen him be used. I've gotten beat by it once. I think he's like, I don't know, A tier. I don't think he's like exceptional. Like, I think he definitely out DPSs these people or these units. Like his cleave card does mad damage. I don't know, because he can work in he can work in PvP. Never mind. He can work in PvP. He's not like meant for PvP though. My bad. I completely forgot his passive does work in PvP. I'm thinking of the Diane. But yeah, I think he's like up in here, you know, up by these units. Still not like an actual tier list ranking or anything. But let me know, what do you guys think? Obviously, like these units I didn't really care too much about because like they're just really bad. I would actually say Gother, Blue Gother is usable. I think he's my favorite Gother to use in PvP. I'm not gonna lie, like no cap. Like I genuinely enjoy this Gother. Besides maybe Fast Gother, but like Red Gother and Red Gother and Green Gother, I just find very boring to use. But yeah, this is my tier list. This is how I would rank the units in Grand Cross. Let me know, what do you guys think? Hopefully you guys enjoy. Hope you guys have an absolutely amazing day. Probably going to post another video if I have time, but I don't know. It's currently 3 a.m. So yeah, take care. Peace out. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Bye-bye.